Welcome to The Man in the Middle. I'm your host, Bill West. Uh, as you can see, I like to read. I like to read a lot. And in the last 50 years or so, I have read a lot. Mainly science fiction, although you will see some fantasy, uh, Tom Clancy, Dale Brown type techno thrillers in there. A lot of media tie ins Star Trek, Star Wars, Doctor Who, Battlestar Galactica. Uh, Babylon 5, Burn Notice. Forgive the moving boxes. I'm trying to clear out this area right now. Today we are going to talk about a little more background. I I don't have any. I really don't have any favorite authors. Well, I guess maybe one or two. I'll be right back. I'm back. Uh, like I said, I'd like to say I don't have any favorite authors, but there are a couple I do like. Timothy Zahn, Kevin Anderson, uh, Rogers Lasney. But what I really like are series. And today we're going to go over uh, some novels which uh, you may or may not have heard of. The Well World series by Jack Chalker. Uh, these are more current prints. I do have the first edition paperbacks over here somewhere. I think they're off right. I think they're in the bookcase that you can't see. First one is Midnight at the Well Souls. Right. Welcome to the Well World, a construct of an ancient defunct race known as the Markovians. The Well World acts both as the controller and the gateway of 1,560 worlds created by the Markovians at the end of their time. Nathan Brazil is a starship captain carrying passengers and cargo from planet to planet. Answering a distress call, he, with others, is suddenly transported to the Well World by a hidden gate. Then Nathan Brazil must stop the mysterious forces from taking control of the Well World, and through the Well World, the universe. But to do so, he must deal with bizarre transformations which change people into centaurs, mermaids, and giant insects. In this strange land, inhabited by these strange transformed creatures who are his friends and who are his enemies, and what of his own memories, which seem to have been deeply suppressed. Midnight in the Well of Souls is the first book set in the Well Worlds universe. This is by PhoenixPick.com. A group of students, instructors, and students are studying a Markovian settlement, long defunct Markovian settlement, when they come across a well gate. And so one of the students, or some of the students, are very depressed, and that's what causes the gate to open up. They open up if you're on a Markovian planet, draw you in to give you a second chance. And whatever you come through on the other side of the gate is up to the choice of the great brain in on the Well World. The Well World is a computer that runs the universe. Whoever controls the Well World controls the universe. It was created by the Markovians at the end of their age because they got bored and they decided to spread their seed across the universe, but they didn't want more Markovians. They were basically immortal and they wanted different races. They wanted to see what they could create. They were basically godlike in their technology. And so they created the Well World, and these last 1,500 races are the last that they created. It's not that that's not all they created, but that was the last. And so we follow Nathan Brazil and his group of people through through their adventures, and we get to learn about the Well World. It's a very interesting concept. It's a great series, and you're not going to regret if you can find them. Used bookstores. Like I said, PhoenixPick.com. I don't know if they're still around. I'll have to take a look at them. Next one is Exiles at the Well of Souls. This is book 2. Welcome to the Well World. Well, that's the same thing. Gilgum Zinder finally discovers the secret to the Markovian Well World, but is then forced by the evil politician and drug dealer Anter Trelig to develop a computer that can control the artificial construct. Mavra Chang is a freighter pilot hired to rescue Zinder's daughter, who has been kidnapped by Trelig, and to save the world's population. Is this? Yeah, it's 2. Okay. Sort of sounds like one of the other ones. And to save the world's populating the construct from Trelig's malicious plans. In the process, Obi, the self-aware computer, accidentally causes the whole world to be automatically transported around the world. This doesn't sound like 2. This sounds like 4. I'm going to have to take a look at that. In the process, Obi, the self-aware computer, accidentally causes the whole world to be automatically transported around the well world, causing Mavra's ships to crash on a non-tech hex world. As inhabitants surrounding the hex world start to realize what is going on, they scramble to collect the pieces of the scattered ship in the hope of escaping the planet, resulting in a chaotic war between various races that might lead to the destruction of the well world itself. Once again, on the well world, there's no-tech, mid-tech, and high-tech races, or worlds that the Markovians created. And just by luck, wherever you end up, that's the tech. Like the centaurs, I believe, are low-tech. There's a race of plants that are high-tech. And there's some pirates that go through the seas that have laser cannons and catapults, all on their ship because they don't know when they're going to be sailing through a high-tech, low-tech, or no-tech world. So, very interesting. Next is Quest for the Well of Souls. Exiles of the Well of Souls left Mavra Chang captured by the Oldborn and practically converted into a beast of burden. 22 years later, Chang has tried to escape numerous times, failing each attempt leading to greater despair. Moreover, one of the 2 tiny hopes has already been destroyed. 2 ships had crashed into the well world, hers in the south, another in the inhospitable northern hemisphere. The attempt to recover her ship has landed in the destruction of that ship. But a possible method of traveling to the north may offer a final hope, and it ignites a new race between Mavra and her enemies, with the winner being poised to gain control of Obi, the supercomputer that can manipulate the very fabric of existence. This was the 3rd book in the series. Another fact about the well world: northern hemisphere is inhospitable to any oxygen-breathing life form. The southern hemisphere is all oxygen-breathing life forms and inhospitable to most northern hemisphere races. I say most because there's a couple that it's like a pure energy being that can live in either or. That's what I was thinking. The return of Nathan Brazil. He's been gone for 2 books now. The return. Humanity is reeling when the Dreel, a viral hive-minded species, attacked the Milky Way and seem ready to take over the galaxy. In desperation, they go back to the ancient sciences of the defunct race of Markovians, which nobody really understands. But using science concepts, as alien as powerful as those of the Markovians, can have dire consequences, as the humans discover when they inadvertently create a situation which can lead to the destruction of the universe itself. The well world can help prevent total destruction, but the planet-sized computer itself has been damaged and must be repaired before it can be used to save the universe. Nathan Brazil can fix the damage, but where is Nathan Brazil? It is up to Mavra Chang and the Obi, the sentient robot, to find Brazil before the entire universe is destroyed. Remember, like I said, The computer at the heart of the well world controls the universe. So, uh, due to humanity's, or well, not just humanity's, there's several races in this confederation, they decide to use this massive annihilating weapon, and it opens a hole in the universe, which opens a hole uh, in the well world computer. It disrupts the well world computer, and it needs to be repaired. So they're looking for Nathan Brazil to come fix it. Nathan right now is nowhere to be found. Okay, last but not least in this series is Twilight at the Well of Souls. This was the first book of the Well of Souls series I actually read. It was book 5 of 5. It was very annoying when I finally. It's a great book. Don't get me wrong, but when you're going into a series and read the last book first, it's sort of ridiculous. Then I had to backtrack and, find book 1 and work my way forwards and reread it. But, really, really wonderful book. And like I said, if you haven't read the series, you need to find it. You really do. PhoenixPick.com. Twilight of the Well of Souls is a direct continuation of the story started in The Return of Nathan Brazil. The rift in space created in the earlier book is even now larger and threatens to permanently damage the Well of Souls. Maverick Chang and Nathan Brazil race to the well and find a solution before it's too late. Arrayed against them is a myriad group of sentient beings who will stop at nothing to bring down Nathan Brazil. But Brazil is not only that easily gotten rid of, he has already snuck into the well world without anyone realizing it. And he has special allies, including Maverick Chang and Gypsy, who has surprising powers himself. Twilight of the Souls is the 5th book set in the well world universe. And we find that Nathan Brazil is Markovian. Sorry, spoiler alert. He's the only one of the Markovians left. And he's basically immortal. And he's he doesn't want to be, but he is, until he can find somebody to pass on his godlike powers to and finally die. But that doesn't happen in this series. Like I said, I found this book first. It was an orange book with I should have got the first printings down. It was an orange book with just a picture of the werewolf on the well of souls on it, and it was intriguing from what I read. And I read it and I loved it. Oh my goodness! I was when did this come out? Not this edition, but I want to say 1977. Oh, 1980. I thought it was earlier than that. Okay, it came out in 1980. Book 5. Book 5. I was a sophomore. I was a sophomore in high school, and the local bookstore or drugstore had that book. We didn't have many bookstores in where I lived at the time. Central California, so I'll put it that way. And the drugstore had that book. And they didn't have any of the other books, but they had that one. And every time I went to the drugstore, I would keep looking at that book. Until I finally got it. Okay, the next one. There we go. I think it's Echo, Shadow, and Gods. Okay. Then sometime later came Echoes of the Well of Souls. Let me see when this one came out. 93. So 13 years between Well World books. I'm not really a big fan of Chalker. I've tried a lot of his other books, but they weren't for the Well of Souls really captured my imagination, and I loved these books. And when I saw a new Well World book was coming up, I jumped on it. But the other books, not so much. But really, really good books. uh, the Well World series, really. So this was 93, and this is Echoes of the Well Souls. For uncounted eons, the Well World had had regulated and given order to the universe, and throughout that eternity, Nathan Brazil had been the guardian of the Well of Souls, where the universe's master control lay. Forever wandering and alone, returning to the well in times of danger, Brazil had destroyed and recreated the cosmos several times over. But even he wearied of his endless watch, and had enlisted the aid of the space pilot and high-tech thief Maverick Chang in the last time the universal order needed resetting. But now the universe faced a threat more grave than mere destruction. An unnamed and utterly alien entity had somehow been released from its ancient prison and was bent on the corruption of the well world itself. If successful, it would cause chaos beyond mortal understanding. The well world needed Mavra and Chang, but when it had found them, they would they once again answer the call? And though Brazil was immortal, could he even fight the force that was threatening the well? For the force was not of this universe, and it had plans for Nathan Brazil. You know, I'm gonna have to reread these books. I haven't read them in quite a while. I've read the first 5 over and over again. 3. I'm not sure which. Let me see. I should have taken this. Looked at this beginning. 94. Yeah, right. Okay. Okay. Next one, like I said, Shadow of the Well of Souls, 1994. Immortal, unchanging, the eternal survivor, Nathan Brazil had tired of his long duty as the guardian of the well world and had listed Maverick Chang, space pilot and adventurer, as his companion and equal, sharing with her some of the power to control the universe's destiny. But over the millennia, Brazil and Chang became estranged, and when they were called once again to the well, each one alone, what they found was the well world changed in ways that it should not have been, and it was not just the local inhabitants who had put a price on their heads, or that Brazil and Chang were constantly stymied in their separate journeys to the Well of Souls. Evolution itself had diverged from its preset course, and that was impossible. Brazil sensed that some force beyond local animosity was at work, thwarting him from reaching his goal, and he was determined to find out what that force was and how it could have changed the elaborate programming at the well. But the changes had not been so affected that the well world. But the changes that had been so affected, the world was beginning to change. The unchangeable Nathan Brazil. And if the Watchman himself could be altered, the universe might be left without any guardian at all. 1994. So, and last but not least in this series is Gods of the Well of Souls. There's, I don't know if that's Nathan Brazil or Mavra, but that's what a Markovian looks like. Looks like a giant heart with a bunch of tentacles. In the hour of need, the well world's guardians had been neutralized. Nathan Brazil was shipwrecked on a desert island with a seemingly harmless girl, but his contact with her had allowed his mind to be invaded, his will sapped, and his mission forgotten. Maverick Chang had been abducted by a vicious gang of inter-hex drug smugglers and was now held prisoner by a revenge-mad creature who had surgically and genetically altered her into a separate form and made her a slave to powerful narcotics. But the well would allow nothing to stop the Guardian's journey for long, for the Well of Souls was only a machine. It needed the Watchers to handle the events and circumstances beyond its sophisticated programming, and so it set plans in motion to jolt its companions back to the game. The only other help Brazil and Chang could expect was from the companions who had been swept along to the well world by accident or design, but the newcomers had been caught in a web of intrigue and deceit swung by the ruling council, a group desperate to stop both Brazil and Chang. What none of them could know was that all of them, even the great well-world computer, were being manipulated by the Krang, an, an entity more ancient than the universe itself, a being that would use the Guardians to give it powers far beyond those of even the Well of Souls, a being that would become a living God. Now there is one more duology. I'm going to have to look it up because I know I have the books, but I've been packing, so they're not quite here. uh, just a second. Let me look this up and we'll be right back. All right, the next book. Oh, wow, this is taking way too long. The next book is The Sea is Full of Stars. After three passengers, Ming, Ari, and Angel, embark on an elite starship journey through the realm, they will become ensnared in one man's bloodthirsty vendetta that will alter their very beings. That man is Jeremiah Wong Kincaid. He vows to destroy uh, Commander Hadun, the evil genius who has wreaked unspeakable havoc through the universe, as it is an obsession that will take him to the lands of demons and strange races, into a deadly new cyber world where humans are mere pawns to the godlike computers they have created. But it is only after Kincaid and his unwilling fellow travelers enter the well world and discover the water hexes that he confronts the mad tyrant and learns the universe is threatened by something far worse. I have this book. I don't know where this book is at. I've been packing, but this one and the next one are the last duology in the Well World series. Uh, Chang and Brazil are nowhere to be seen in this. It's totally brand new set of characters, and the threat is more localized rather than universal. Uh, Good book. I would show it to you if I could find it. I do have it. I'm just not sure where. Let me look up the next book, and then we will. I'll get back to you. All right, here we go. Ghost of the Well of Souls. On the mysterious well world, the evil tyrant Jazich and his dark agents search desperately for the 8 scattered pieces of the fabled Straight Gate. Whoever possesses this gate will wield enormous power, traveling between universes at the speed of light, wreaking havoc across galaxies. Opposing Jazich is a small band of travelers new to the well world. There's Kor, once a machine, not flesh and blood, Ming and Ari, 2 minds sharing a single body, Jesu, an angel, and Genghis O'Leary, a lizard being. Unbeknownst to them, they have an unlikely ally, a vengeful entity who is able to clone any person or object with a single touch and mete out death just as swift. Like I said, it's more localized. Well, I guess if you can transfer, pop across universe at any time. But that was the end. That was the end, and we never saw any more Adventures of the World because Jack Chalker unfortunately passed away some years back. This is one of my favorite universes. I enjoy the world. I once tried to do a role-playing game, tried to figure out a role-playing game, but I didn't have a. I think in one of the early books, there's all 1,500 hexes, and what if there's actually magic on the well world, and what each hex had and what it didn't have, and it was just it would have been a crazy game. But I would have liked to see somebody. I would like to see actually somebody make a movie or a miniseries, maybe a TV series, a miniseries, because there's so much there to delve into, and there's talking walruses and the plant people and the centaurs and the giant insect people. It's just amazingly crazy, and You know, even animated. I would love to see an animated series. But that was my geek out for the week. Just a pure geek out. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, drop a comment down below, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you've read The Well of Souls, let me know what you thought of it. I would like to. I would like to know that one. I'm not the only one, and I would like to really know how you felt about it. I'm Bill West. I am the man in the middle. You have a great day.